is Friday, and that means it is time for another reading vlog. Obviously, I am reading something, and here's what I'm hoping to read and finish this weekend because it's so short. It is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I don't know why this feels like the perfect setting to read this book. Something in my memory makes this feel pastoral, even though I don't feel like this setting is a particularly strong focus in the story necessarily. Maybe it's just, it kind of has this light magic to it. I think some might even call it magical realism that reminds me of the country. I don't know. I have no explanation as to why this is, but I'm really excited to start it. So I think, with no further fanfare, let's just get into it. Okay, so, wait, hold on. Far too close to you. Actually, hold on. Hi. So, I'm on page 21 now, and something that I just want to draw attention to immediately is the epigraph at the beginning of the book. I think it's something that Neil Gaiman does really well, and already I can find ways that the epigraph fits with the tone of the story. I always wonder how authors pick epigraphs. Like, does he just have a list of quotes somewhere that he pulls from? Anyway, the epigraph reads, "I remember my own childhood vividly. I knew terrible things, but I knew I mustn't let adults know I knew them. It would scare them." I remember this book having a darkness to it. It's the sort of story that has some of the things that as a kid you were afraid of. You know, these magical evil creatures. I think a lot of us would think about that as a kid, but it also has some heaviness to it that I didn't remember. In the first two chapters, the main character, who is 7 years old at the time, loses a beloved pet. The pet is killed in an accident, and a man who is boarding at his house commits suicide, and that's a lot to find out as a young kid. What's interesting to me about this, and I'm trying to remember if it's something that Gaiman does often, is how he punctuates these moments of really heavy topics or these things that this kid learns with some of the magic. So earlier he talks about how at the end of the lane lived the Hemstocks, and as an adult he's wondering if they still live there. He says that he thinks it's unlikely, but then again they were unlikely people. So you already get the sense that they have some magic to them. When they find the man, they end up talking about these things that the police haven't discovered yet. This idea that there was a note in his shirt, and that even though the note said one thing, it really meant another. So simultaneously, while you're thinking about this really sad event, it's almost undercut in a way, or it's tempered by this addition of magic and these questions that you have about the Hemstocks. And that's something that I really appreciate, because I think when you have fantasy that's kind of dark, tempering it out with some of that wonder makes it, I'm holding this book upside down, but it makes it, I guess, less of a heavy read. Hopefully I don't do this every 20 pages, because then my vlog will be like 500 pages. It'll be 500 hours long. And nobody has time for that, but it's just something I really enjoyed about the writing, so I'll catch you guys later. I can't tell if this shot is aesthetic or creepy. So it is about 11:30 p.m. and my family and I just got back from visiting an old restaurant turned kind of pub that we used to visit all the time when I was little. I'm now sitting outside on our porch, and I wish you could see what I'm seeing, because the stars are absolutely brilliant. Something about the stars makes me feel just brimming with boundless possibilities. Does that make sense? I'm going to read a little bit out here using my trusty lamp and appreciate the abundant stars that I've been given tonight. So, good morning. I'm back in the kitchen now, and I'm of course reading The Ocean at the End of the Lane. And I'm at this part where the Hemstocks discover this creature that's kind of causing havoc in the town. It's doing what fairy tale creatures often do and giving people what they want, but not quite how they want it. So they're going to try to see if they can get them out. And the youngest Hemstock goes with the main character to do that. The tension is really building. You're starting to get a little worried for these characters. It's, you know, cold, and the creature itself is being kind of cryptic in a very creepy way. When Letty Hemstock, the youngest, starts sing-talking at the creature to bind it. And I don't know if you can hear my cat. Alex, come here, dum-dum. He's like, I'm just gonna meow at you from the garden. I don't know if you can see him through here. There he is. Alex. All right, let me go get the cat. He just wanted me to come get him. Cat. He's like purring. I don't know if you can hear him. Yeah. Oh, buddy. He's jumped off now. He's doing his own thing. But, what was I saying? Right, okay, so, I broke my own tension. So, tension is building, spooky creature, and binding it. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great to play the song that he mentions? He says it's a nursery rhyme called Girls and Boys Come Out to Play. And in my head, I'm imagining a kind of like eerie, almost off-tune version. And so I tried to look for something that was maybe more of a lullaby version of it, and instead all I could get was this. Leave your supper and leave your sleep and join your play. Nothing says binding an evil creature like this. Come with a call, come with a good. Oh my god. Or maybe he wants something that's more rock-like. Get that drum beat up. We're up in the club with these nursery rhymes. So that didn't go well, but it's okay. I can still imagine something better in my head. So for today, I know I said I was gonna read up to like page 100 last night, but instead I just looked at the stars and then fell asleep. I'm realizing that there's only 181 pages in this, so I really should be able to finish this today. All right, I'll check in with y'all later. What's up, Jib? Here's Alex. Hi, buddy. He's like, no. What you doing, buddy? He's like, the dog is doing stupid stuff behind you. Hi, Chipper. No, Chip, get back. All right, Chipper. So, I'm going for a walk before it gets too hot. Expect the dogs won't be pleased that I'm not taking them this round, but sometimes you just need a few moments by yourself. So I don't usually actually walk down this road. I go through what, as a kid, I always called my secret way. That was how you knew that we were like really good friends as a kid, if I showed you my secret places. One of them is actually down here, but some kids ruined it all for us, and basically there's this mysterious artist who lives in a house by the mill. I think I've only been in her house once, I only talked to her like twice. It's one of those small towns that has eccentricities everywhere. So we're passing the mill right now. I'm not sure if she'd want me to show you where she lives, but just over here is the river. And you used to be able to go down a path right here. You can hardly see anything now. It doesn't look like much anymore. But you'd go through it. There was a little fairy ring just right over here. And you'd keep going down the path until it would lead you to these stepping stones by this little waterfall at the river. And as a kid, oh my God, that was the most magical thing. Like, it felt like anything could happen there. I was so sad when it grew over one winter and she never cut it back because too many kids were doing I don't actually know what they were doing. I was too young, but they were doing something back there. Let's see if we can actually get to the stepping stones on the other way. Oh my God, this is so overgrown too. Just tilted. Oh, okay. Oh. So here's the deal. I'm on this little wooden pallet right now, and the bridge that went over this little mini creek is gone, but you can hear the waterfall. I feel like I'm so close, but so far. Oh look, and here's the mill. Come on, there it is. So this is not the ideal situation. So, update, I have tried traversing various paths to get there, and all I've achieved is a scratch on my leg and some very muddy shoes. I think the waterfall is just gonna have to live on in my memory, and instead I'm gonna take you through the glade. All right, we'll see ya.
Dry dunes cater for jumping boys. From the nape of her neck he made his descent. They watched men hurl from rock to sea, like sternum to bottom, line lip pinches in between. Your foothills, your
Well then, it is 11:42 p.m., so I guess that's today done. I had a few notes that I wanted to talk to you about, but I can't remember them right now, and I'm probably going to go to bed soon. I'm instead watching Doctor Who for the very first time. Honestly, why didn't I watch it sooner? I love the whimsy. Needless to say, I'm going to be watching as many episodes as I can tonight, because tomorrow is a no tech day, so no computer, no phone. So yeah, I'm gonna watch a little bit of that and then go to bed. I'm sorry we didn't see the waterfall today. I hope y'all aren't too disappointed. In some ways, maybe it's good because the magic of my childhood is still kind of preserved in my memory, and I won't have to be... Oh, hello, moth. Excuse me, sir. Started flying down my dress. I feel like that sort of ruined the mood I was going for. Alright, good night y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. feel like a mess. Good morning. It looks a bit damp outside, but damp never stopped me before. So make some quick breakfast and then read Ocean at the End of the Lane. Talk to you soon. It's a little damp out here, but still good. So after reading a couple of pages this morning, I remembered what I was going to say last night. And I think the thing is, he does a very good job of capturing the types of things and the ways we're afraid as children. In some ways, I feel like it's a nostalgic fairy tale for adults. Like, you read it and you can understand what this 7-year-old is going through because you went through that as a kid. It's familiar. He's afraid of the woman who's meant to be watching him and his sister, Ursula Monkton, but he can't quite articulate why. There's something off about her, something scary, something that reminds him of a more evil or ancient creature, shall we say, that he met earlier in the book. And I think as kids, like, we've all been afraid of things that may seem fantastical to us as adults. And we've also been afraid of people or other things, and we can't quite articulate why, really. At least not until later, or at least not in a way that maybe the adults will understand. So it's just another thing that I really appreciate about this book. Anyway, enough of me prattling on. Let's get some reading done. Well, I finished the book. The ending was just as bittersweet as I remembered it. I was reading a review of the book, and someone said it seemed like Neil Gaiman needed to write this, even though it didn't resonate with them. And I agree. I think it is something he needed to write. He says in the acknowledgments that he plundered his childhood memories for this story, and I can see a lot of him in there. And I can also see the fear of choosing the path he did. There's this one line about him being in his 20s and being so afraid, and I think about what it's like to make art and hope people will listen to you and notice you. As someone who's in their late 20s now, it is kind of like wondering what they're doing with their lives. It's amazing how just a single moment can remind you that you're not alone. It's also interesting to be reading this story while I'm back home and visiting all of these places that I felt safe in, that I went on an adventure in. This is my last day here, so I'm trying to soak up as much of it as I can. I guess it's like, do you ever wish that you could just take a place up and hold it close to your heart wherever you go? It's the type of place that gives you this unshakable peace. It makes you feel like you can do the things that you're dreaming of doing, or makes you even feel confident enough to dream in the first place. So I think that's what I'll be trying to do for the rest of the day. Just walking around and trying to soak up this place and the way it makes me feel like I can dream a little bit. I think that's what I most want to take with me. The confidence that I feel here, the sort of wonder at everything that's around me. I think it's more the wonder at the simple things, really. And not even my mother vacuuming in the middle of my shot is going to change that. So I think I'll just end it here. I hope you all have a lovely day, and until next time, keep traveling. Bye!